Namaśtam manamapi Sashachiputam Atta Surupam Rupam Tasagrajamuriprim Maturim Bhushtavati Radha Kunda Madirimaram Ahoradika Maravasam Rapto Yasa Pratikriya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Murave Gaura Chandra Radhikai Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namo Ananda Lila-Maya Vigrahaya Hemavadivya Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Bhakta Vina Aparada Dakshay Shripa Sudhamari Paramabhavanya Dipavaliva Sharanamapala Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Govinda Ramo Namaste Govinda Ramo Namaste Govinda Ramo Namaste Govinda Ramo Namaste Hey Krishna, Hey Radha, Hey Radhe Govinda Ramo Sham Sundar Shikandashika Smahasuli Manora Radhikaraskam Mama Kimanidhe Tiyacharaki Kurinkuru Tavayavasmi Tavayavasmi Rajivani Tayavana Tivipyaya Devikam Namam Charantikam. First of all, I offer my heart like flowers, my sastang dandavat puspanjali, thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master. Asmadiya Parvarajatma Guru Padma Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnuvar Ashtottara Sata Sisivar Rupanugacharya Varya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, after my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara, and I offer my pranam to the Samud Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. So, during the last few days, some interesting questions came up from the devotees. So this is Ishta Goshti, when devotees come together to discuss their Ishta, the object of their love, their worship, their service, their desire. That is Ishta Goshti. Goshti means a community. And Ishta, when we discuss our Ishta. So, this morning, I'm trying to find Bhagavatam Vitakana. this morning, the Krishna Bhakti lady, she asked about the bhava of Srila Haridas Thakur. So, based on the praman from Shastra, then we know he has been described as the incarnation of one Brahmin called Brahma Mahatap, and the combined incarnation of Prahlad and Brahma, we know. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in Harinam Chintamani, he has Srila Haridas Thakur explaining many confidential details about Nam Bhajan, falling in the mood of the gopis of Vrndavan. So it seems, at first glance, one may think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is extending everything into the very much a Gaudiya conception. But we don't find anywhere in Shastra that there's a description of Haridas Thakur in that way. So, but if we consider very deeply, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in South India, there in the Keshav temple in Madurai, he discovered a Shastra called Brahma Samhita. And there in Brahma Samhita it's described that Lord Brahma was initiated by Shuddha Saraswati into the Astata-sakshara Gopal mantra. And then in addition to that, directed by the sound of Shri Krishna's flute, he received Kam Gayatri. And then in the commentary, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that to Brahma Samhita, he said that Lord Brahma realized he was a maidservant of Krishna. So because this Kam Gayatri has this very special power. Because only Raj Gopis have the transcendental Kam towards Krishna. So even if we take Haridas Thakur to be Lord Brahma, but in the beginning of the creation, Lord Brahma was inspiring Gopal Mantra and Kam Gayatri. And therefore, then on top of that, having the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gaura Lila. So, what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written, we always must accept to be 100% true. When Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes anything, it is not less than the Vedas. Because he has seen everything in his samadhi, and then he has written. This is the meaning of Shastra. Shastra means Bhakti Yoga Manasi Samyak Paramhite Vale. When devotee goes into the samadhi, the trance of Bhakti Yoga, they realize something, and then they write it down. This is Shastra. So the writings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur are not less than the Vedas. In many cases they are superior to the Vedas. Another question, Nayaparaja Mohan Prabhu asked, what is gardha-samskara? He said, in a lecture you have said that gardha-samskara means the adi sanskara, the original impressions of the Atma. So it seems as if the soul must have been in Goloka Vrndavan. The word sanskar has been used like Laukik Riti. You understand? Laukik Riti. As we were explaining, for example, about Samanjasa Rati of the Queens of Dwarka. Their Rati is called Nisarga Uta Rati. Just like a person who they've been doing sadhana for many lifetimes to one Ishtadev, and then in one lifetime without seeing their Ishtadev or anything. They only hear about him, and this love comes out because it's from lifetimes of practice. This is called Nisarga, Nisarga Uttavrati. So the queens of Dwarka, like Rukmini, when she was a little girl, she heard about Krishna from Narad. And as if she has sanskars from many lifetimes, then hearing her love was manifested by hearing. So, actually, the love of Rukmini for Krishna is Swattasiddha, an eternal reality. But in the Leela, because it's a human-like pastime, it has according to Lokik Riti, the way of the world, it wakes up as if it was from a past life sanskar. Even ordinary persons in Vedic culture, husband and wife, when they are married, they walk 7 times around the fire in a promise that they will be a couple for 7 lifetimes. So next lifetime when they meet, automatically, love at first sight, and the next life, and the next life, 7 lifetimes. This is a big problem because in each life they'll get married and promise for 7 more lifetimes. 49. So, in the same way, when a sadhak in this world is doing bhajan, they will not realize their babyhood pastimes in Krishna Lila. They will not realize their childhood pastimes in Krishna Lila. When the sadhak is doing bhajan here, what is his Nitya Swarup, eternal form in the Nitya Lila, in the Nitya Apakat Lila, this will manifest. This is the Nitya Swarup. So you cannot be a person without a past. You cannot be a person without a childhood and babyhood, because all experiences bring us to who we are in that day. So in that sense, the Nitya Swarup has its own Nitya external sanskars of a past. Understand? This is done by Yoga Maya. You cannot just simply appear, boom, now I'm 12 and a half. But you were never 11 or 10 or 9 or 8. It's impossible. So, when the Siddhadeha begins to come, it's manifesting in one's Nitya Vayas, eternal age. And so, all the impressions of who you are in the Leela, everything, your personality, they're coming at once, naturally. So this is called gardha-samskara, deep impressions, and they are the adi sanskara of the soul. So it does not mean that you were previously in Krishna Leela, but by the achintya Shakti, the inconceivable arrangement of Krishna, every jiva has a relationship with him. And when the jiva associates with the sadhu, then by the association with that sadhu, the sanskars in the chitta, which are being impressed into the chitta by lifetimes of karmas in this world, these become slowly eradicated. And at the same time, as those are being eradicated, the adi sanskar, that means the Atma's own sanskar, in regard to its Swarup and personality, this starts to awaken. And the degree to which the adi sanskar is awakened, to that degree, that sadhaka can begin to understand the achintya tattvas, the inconceivable nature of Krishna's Leela. Jai Sri So the last about 10 sentences that I spoke, I'm quoting exactly the words of Gopal Guru Goswami. I remember translating this. The first time I heard this, I was trying, because my Gurudev asked me to translate Jagadharma into English. It was really astonishing. Siddhanta. So, this phrase gardha-samskara is first found in Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There he is discussing the nature of bhava bhakti. He said, Bhavanaya padeyastu budainanyanya buddhina bhavite gardha-samskarais chite bhava sukatyate. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He's saying, Bhavanaya padeyastu. When the devotee is absorbed in bhavana, contemplation on Krishna's Nam, Rup, Gun and Lila, Budainanyanya Buddhina, with one pointed attention, at that time, Bhavite gardha-samskarais, the deep impressions rise within his heart. Chite bhava sukatyate. And this is called the stage of bhava. So in the commentary, Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Thakur, Mukunda Goswami, others, they've commented on this verse in a very beautiful way. They're saying that after the stage of asakti, then what appears next? After asakti? Rati. Rati means the sthayi bhava begins to appear. Then, but this is not the fully blown stage of bhava. It's only the beginning of the stage of bhava. Because rati, that is this foundational emotion, begins to appear. And then, as one progresses more, then rati, one realizes rati, then one realizes vibhav, anubhav, sattvika bhava, and vyabhachari bhavas. These are the 5 ingredients of rasa. And the devotee is experiencing each one of these 5 emotional ingredients of rasa on the basis of his own gardha-samskara. A little Shuddha Sattva has come, illuminated his heart, and his own Adi Sanskar, original impressions of the soul, are coming, enabling him to, in contemplation, experience his sthayi bhava, vibhav, anubhav, sattvika bhava and vyabhachari bhava. So, he tastes them individually, one by one, and that stage is called bhava. This is bhavamaya bhakti, but it's still not rasa. Then Rupa Goswami said, Vyatiti bhavana vartma Yas chamatkara bharavu chite satsujjale bharam swajjato sa rasomataha. He said, going beyond the realm of bhavana, contemplation, vyatiti bhavana vartma. Now he's going beyond the realm of contemplation. Yas chamatkara bharavu. Then something, chamatkar, astonishing happens. Chite satsujjale bharam. There's a massive influx of Shuddha Sattva, pure spiritual energy. And the taste he experiences at that time is called the rasa. So our acharyas commented, the meaning here is that in the stage of bhavamaya bhakti, on the basis of gardha-samskara, the devotee is experiencing the ingredients of rasa, but not rasa. And then when Shuddha Sattva comes more intensely, then it's not dependent on his own contemplation anymore. And the 5 ingredients of rasa all combine together and make one astonishing taste. So the ingredients are not experienced separately anymore, but rather they're experienced all mixed together, making one astonishing taste, and that is called rasa. So it is like in Ashtanga Yoga, a difference of intensity between dhyan and samadhi. In this case, bhava bhakti is compared to dhyan, and then actual rasa is compared to samadhi. Then another acharya commented that the purport is that the ingredients of rasa experienced on the basis of your gardha-samskara. But the experience of rasa depends on the influx, a great flood of Vishuddha Sattva. And another comment is that in the stage of Bhavamaya Bhakti, the ingredients are experienced separately, and in Rasamaya Bhakti, they cannot be experienced separately. They're experienced as one. But still, the flavors are there in that one. They're not experienced separately, but still you can taste them. For example, if you eat some preparation, by tasting it you can understand how much sugar is there, how much black pepper is there, how much lemon juice is there, like that. But still you cannot taste any of them one by one once it's mixed together. Understand? So, some Gaudiya Vaishnavas say that the gardha-samskara is coming from outside, that it's the impressions from the Sangha, from the association that you've had. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no, it's coming from the Atma. Because some Gaudiya Vaishnavas say, particularly in Radhakund and also here in the Gadada Parivar, they say that the Atma has no swarup. That the swarups are in the spiritual sky and they are with no soul in them. They're in suspended animation. So when you're liberated from this world, your soul will go there, enter into one of them, and it will come alive, and then like this, they have this idea. So, however, the actual subject matter of the swarup of the jiva is achintya. By material logic, anyone cannot understand. Because if we are thinking, the Atma now has no swarup, but when he becomes perfect, then he'll have a swarup. Now, nasato vidite bhavo, na bhavo drishyate sada, uvayapi drishyantas tvanyas tatvedarshivi. Krishna said, of the eternal there's no change. And that which changes is asat. So now the jiva has changed. Also, the time when you are liberated from this world, what time is that? That is beyond time. Because once one enters the transcendental realm, there is no time, past, present and future there. So, in one sense, that moment already exists somehow. So who you are, in one sense, exists. But from our conditioned perspective, we cannot realize it. So if one is looking from the perspective of within material time, then we can say, and Jiva Goswami himself has said, you develop taste in a particular rasa according to your association. But that is looking from this perspective. But if we look from above, from the transcendental perspective, then we can say, hey, what will be, will be. So, there's no need to, if some Vaishnavas have explained like this and some have explained like that, don't think one is right and one is wrong. If someone will say, we are right, you are wrong, then they are wrong. But someone who has realizations, they can see. It's like this book. If you look at it from this angle, it's square. If you look at it from this angle, it's a line. There are two ways of looking at the same thing. The material logic cannot touch it. Those who chant Harinam, they can realize all these things and be peaceful. So, this is why Rupa Goswami said, Shastra yukti nahi jani dhrida shwanavan, say madhyamadikari, say mahabhagyavan. The madhyamadikari, that means who has the middle level of adhikar for beginning Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Not Madhyam Bhagavat, Madhyam Adhikari in this context. He has strong faith, so he is very lucky. But he cannot reconcile all the statements of Shastra with his reason and so on. And so that devotee will tend to become confused. But the Uttamadhikari, Shastra Yukti Sunipun, Dridashadaja. Uttam Adhikari, his faith is very strong, And whatever is written in Shastra, even if it seems to be different, can reconcile it. So, now we're coming to our Bhagavatamrita Canon again. So yesterday we discussed many very beautiful points. What is the prakat lila? How it exists in many dimensions. Balya lila, Pauganda lila, Kishore lila, babyhood, childhood, teenage, all is there. Not only that, but also Krishna simultaneously is doing lila in Golok, higher than that, Dwarka, higher than that, Mathura, and higher than that, Gokul. And Vishnu Thakur was saying, there in spiritual no gamana gaman, no coming and going, changing dance. Because if you leave here, he's already there. He might meet himself. So, but our Sanatana Goswami said in Golok, Gopkumar saw Krishna leave Vrndavan and go to Mathura and then return after 3 months. So, Srila, our Sri Siddhanti Maharaj, Param Pujapad, and Srila Gurudev in the commentary, he's saying that in Gokul there is viraha bhav, the feeling of separation, where Radharani experiences such things as Krishna's leaving and so on. And then that bhav takes on a stool roop, a tangible form in Golok. And then the Leela of Golok is, and Gokul is manifest. It's a mixture of Golok Tattvas and Gokul Tattvas in the Prakat Leela. So the Prakat Leela in this world is first that aprakat Balya Leela is shown, and then it becomes unmanifest. And as it becomes unmanifest, then the aprakat Pauganda Leela is shown. And when it becomes unmanifest, then the aprakat Kishore Leela is shown. And some mixtures of Gokul and Golok Leela, like this. And in this way, the people of the world see that Krishna is a baby and he's growing and becomes a young man. So, even though Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ajopi san avyayatma, my body never changes. We also discussed how in the Prakat Leela, in different days of Lord Brahma, it's different. Why? Because this Prakat Leela is like only a menu. In the spiritual world, there are millions of unlimited pastimes, and only a sample of those pastimes is shown here. And in different days of Lord Brahma, different aspects of that Prakat Leela are manifested here. The example being that sometimes Krishna leaves Vrndavan, and in one day of Brahma he never comes back. Whereas in another day he may return. So now we're moving on to more very interesting Lila-Tattva. Now, the eternality of Krishna's Leela is manifested in two ways. One is that this Leela is going on always in the spiritual world. And when it's manifested here in this material world, if Krishna does his Balya Leela, his babyhood pastimes, here on this planet, when this babyhood pastimes becomes unmanifest and Gandha Lila manifests, this Balya Lila manifesting on earth planets in another universe. There are millions and millions of universes, and in every one of them there's an earth planet. And on every earth planet, in every universe, there is a Vrndavan, a Dwarka and a Mathura. So, when in one universe, Krishna manifests his baby pastimes, and then they come to a close, then that Balya Lila is manifested in another universe. It's appearing there as the Gandha Lila is appearing here. When this Gandha Lila disappears here and then Kaishwa Lila manifests here, the Gandha Lila is manifested there, and the Balya Lila, which is becoming aprakat from there, is manifesting in another universe. So, the example given here is just like in astrology. We see, and in astronomy, that the sun, in the course of 1 year, moves through the 12 signs of the zodiac. It's in Aries, in Taurus. You know, when the sun is in Taurus, what is that? Huh? May, June. Sun is very hot at that time. So the sun is called a Banu, and Taurus is called Vrisha. Vrisha Bhanu means the sun in Taurus. It's very bright. Even not one moon, but even many moons cannot be as bright as the sun in Taurus. If I would say it in Sanskrit, it would come out that Chandravali can never be as bright as Vrishubhanu. Vrishubhanu Jai is the name of Radharani. You understand? So their names have these deep meanings. So the sun goes through the 12 signs of the zodiac in 1 year, and then returns to the same sign that it was in 12 months earlier. So similarly, the reason Shri Krishna appears only once in a day of Brahma, on this earth planet, in at the end of Dwapara Yuga, in the 28th millennium of the 7th Vaivasvata Manu, is because when his Leela becomes unmanifested here, it's manifesting somewhere else, and then in another universe, and another universe, and another universe, and it takes 1 day of Lord Brahma to manifest all of these Leelas in all of the millions of endless universes, and when he's manifested in all of them, it gets back to this universe again. And that's why, you see, just as the sun takes 1 year to go through all the signs of the zodiac, so similarly, that's the speed at which the Leela becomes prakat and aprakat in each one of the endless universes in the material world, to travel all the way around and come back to this universe.
So, according to your presentation, that means at one point of time, Krishna is not the same, his same age pastime is not going on in many universes. But in that pastime of Narad Muni, when he goes to Krishna's different palaces, when he sees Krishna in one Dwarka, and then again Krishna in another Dwarka, and then Krishna in another Dwarka, just the time difference.
We're not different universes.
They are different universes. No. They're not different universes.
No. They were different prakash. Different Nitya Prakash, but not a different universe. So, okay, so this point is clear, I think. It's just, when we consider the astounding, unlimited nature, the Aishwarya of Krishna, See, Madhurya does not mean the absence of Aishwarya. The Aishwarya is there. But anyone in the Lila who is upright, they cannot taste it because there's too much Madhurya. Or the Aishwarya will be one with their experience of Madhurya. But never Aishwarya Bhav or Aishwarya Gyan, Madhurya Gyan. So, in this way, each moment of the Leela is eternal. Because it seems that Krishna was a baby doing this Leela and now it's God. No, that Leela is somewhere else. So even the prakat Leela in this world is also nitya, is also eternal in that sense. So, in each earth planet there's a Vrndavan, a Mathura and a Dwarka. And anyone who is living in those places at that time when the Leela is prakat, they can see it by Krishna's Achintya Shakti, which is astonishing. They are not the residents of the spiritual, they are people here, but they can see it going on. And also, when the prakat Leela becomes unmanifested, if a sadhak, if a practicing devotee comes to the place, like now we have come to Vrndavan, and he does bhajans gradually and goes through anartha-nivritti, when that devotee comes to the stage of bhav, then they can see all those lilas. The prakat lilas, though the prakat lilas have become aprakat, he can see the prakat lilas now once he comes into the stage of bhav. And in this regard, the Bilvamangal Thakura is a classic example. So, our Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and so on, they have not been mentioned as examples of persons who could see the sadhaks who could see the prakat lila here. Why? Because they're not sadhaks. Bilvamangal Thakura was actually a conditioned soul who came up to the stage of bhav and became siddha and saw everything. This is important because sometimes devotees, they read about so many great Vaishnavas and then in the end they always find out actually he was an eternal associate. And then they become depressed, like it's only the eternal associates who already realized everything who actually get to realize anything. So you have to know that no, Bilvamangal Thakura was actually a Bhadajiva conditioned soul who went through the stages of sadhana and reached bhav and saw all the lilas. So it said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Bilvamangaladi ayeste sadhaka parikirtida. Bilvamangal is famous among the sadhakas. So, but one should never think, even though Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, they're doing a lila like sadhakas, never think that they are sadhak. Gaurangera Sangi Gani Nitya Siddha Kari Mani Say Jai Brajendra Sutapas. One can go directly to Krishna simply by the honoring the associates of Mahaprabhu like Rupa Goswami, Swarup Damodar, knowing that they have come there from the spiritual world with him. Now, more specialities in the Leela. Another point here is, in the commentary it's mentioned that sadhakas like Bilvamangal Thakura, they did bhajan and they began to see Krishna's prakat lila here. But there are many examples of those who are Nityasiddhi, who came from that world, that they saw here the aprakat lila, the nitya lila of the spiritual world. And this is why when a disciple glorifies his guru and says Nitya Lila Pravishta, this implies that his guru is not a sadhak but came from there. Because if guru is a sadhak, at the end of his bhajan in this world, he doesn't go to the Nitya Lila, he goes to the prakat Lila in the realm of Vrndavan on earth first. And then from childhood, Vrishabhanu Pure Janama Loibo Javata Vivahave takes birth as a baby among all the gopis, and they all grow up together. And then she comes to her Nitya Swarup, to the eternal age, and then after that then goes to become a parikar. From Vastu Siddhi becomes a parikar, an associate in the Nitya Lila, like this. So when the disciple said Nitya Lila Pravishta to his guru, this is a very high glorification. So very often devotees say Paramahamsa Paravajakacharya. I only say Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Parashtomatara Satasisima, like this. And you can say, but if you have said Nitya Lila, then to say Paramahamsa, the fourth stage of sannyas, that the sadhak is going through the stages of sannyas, this is not a high thing. And Parivajakacharya is the stage before Paramahamsa even. So there's a method in my madness. So now, some specialities among the Lila. Mausal Lila and Mahishiharan Lila. These two Leelas are Indrajal, Mithya and Kritrim. What does that mean? These are two Leelas being mentioned here. One is Mausal Lila, that is the pastime that once the grandchildren of Krishna in the Yadu dynasty in Dwarka, they were very naughty. Some sages came to Dwarka, very powerful and respectable sages like Narad, like Durvasa. You don't mess with Durvasa Rishi. They wanted to play a trick on the sages, so they dressed one of the boys, one of Krishna's grandchildren, Samba, dressed him up as a girl with a sari, and put something underneath to make him look like he was pregnant. And then they came before the rishis and said, "Oh rishis, please tell us, will it be a boy or a girl?" So then Durvasa Rishi, don't mess with Durvasa. We're going to go there very soon, to the ashram of Durvasa Rishi in Lohava. Have you been? Oh, it's very nice. So, Durvasa Rishi, he did not take their humor lightly. He said, he will give birth to a lump of iron, which will be the destruction of the whole Yadu dynasty. So then they looked, and a big lump of iron came out from underneath the cloth of Samba. And then they were scared. They thought what to do. They were afraid to go to Krishna even. So instead they went to Ugrasen Maharaj. And they presented the lump of iron to Ugrasen Maharaj. Ugrasen Maharaj said, you should grind it into powder. This powder cannot do anything. Grind it into powder and throw the powder in the ocean. But what happened, we'll explain tomorrow. Lord Brahma.